Hello everyone, today I will talk about online sexual exploitation and abuse of children, also known as OSEAC, with a focus on the Philippines. This issue may seem specific, but is deeply connected to broader global themes of violence and justice, which is also the core topic of our course. In this video, I will analyze how online sexual violence against the children represents not just individual harm, but a deeper systemic failure of justice, especially in marginalized contexts. To understand this issue, we must begin by asking what does the law have to do with gender, sexuality, and social justice? According to Leller et al., the law is not a neutral tool. It can protect, but it can also oppress. In their report, Gender, Sexuality, and Social Justice, What's Law Got to Do with It? The authors emphasize that justice is not just about law enforcement, but also about cultural context, power structures, and whose voices get heard. This is particularly evident when discussing child sexual abuse. Many victims are not only suppressed by the abusers, but also overlooked by the entire society. This might be due to social stigmatization and a lack of political will. The justice system often cannot protect the victims. Law enforcement is weak, and victims are sometimes blamed. And there are also many gaps in technology and international cooperation. Offenders, often from richer countries, stay hidden and unpunished. This shows the exact problem that Leller and others discussed. When the law does not match real-life situations, justice becomes unfair and incomplete. To understand this issue better, we need to look at gender and history. Next, I will conduct analysis based on the specific case of OSEAC in the Philippines. The Philippines has become the global epicenter of the live stream sexual abuse trade, and many of the victims are children. The high level of poverty in many regions leads families to view exploitation as a source of income, and those children are often exploited by both local and foreign perpetrators. Offenders often exploit vulnerable families, and they coerce those parents to commit abuse due to financial pressures. Besides, the detection and removal of this kind of content have surged. OICAC material involves self-made content, and children often coerced by perpetrators produce sexual material themselves under pressure, and this increase in self-made content complicates the problem and makes it more difficult for law enforcement to regulate. I can't imagine how terrible it would be if it keeps going like this. And next, let's see a video together.
She's just 13 years old, but her life has been filled with trauma. For 2 years, this Filipina girl was sexually abused by her adoptive parents. They filmed the assaults and broadcast their crimes live on the internet, all for just a few dollars. We're calling her Mary to protect her anonymity.
At first, my parents didn't show my whole body, only certain parts. But over time, they started exposing everything, including my private parts. Then I saw the videos on a phone. I discovered that only people overseas were watching. I was unable to resist.
Most of the online audience were Westerners. By watching, they were complicit in child sexual abuse, and they paid Mary's parents to watch online.
When you see these people on the screen, are they young or rather old?
Some seemed young, but most were much older.
And did it happen often? Every day or just occasionally?
Every day.
Mary now lives in a shelter with her 2 brothers who are also abused. Their adoptive parents were arrested in 2021 and are now awaiting trial.
Okay, OSAC in the Philippines displays distinct gender dynamics. Almost 8% of child abuse images involve female victims, often as young as 11 to 13 years old, and it means that girls are especially vulnerable to specific types of online exploitation. As for boys, they are increasingly vulnerable to exploitation through online gaming platforms and chat rooms, and perpetrators may use different ways to gain their trust, like teaching them how to play the game and become the winner. And that would really interest most boys, right? But boys are less likely to report abuse due to social pressures and stigmas, and which can lead to underreporting and insufficient support systems for male victims. But luckily, there are a lot of things we can do to solve OSAC in the Philippines. First, we can improve law enforcement capabilities. We can establish relevant organizations to protect minors. For example, Anti-Child Pornography Alliance is used to protect and save children from all forms of abuse and exploitation. Besides, the passage of an anti-child pornography law and creation of the Office of Cybercrime give impetus to the campaign against online child sexual abuse. Second, we can strengthen international collaboration. OICAC is a transnational crime, so international law enforcement like Interpol and the FBI, they should deepen and improve international cooperation. Third, we can enhance technical tools. It is crucial to invest in technical tools for monitoring and detecting CSAI. And then we can try to address poverty. It is fundamental to solve OSAC in the Philippines, and the government should accelerate infrastructure projects such as roads, bridges, airports, seaports, and railways. And lastly, we can provide support services. UNICEF Philippines is conducting research on this issue, funding training for police and NGOs, helping to establish a national helpline, and conduct awareness-raising activities in schools and communities, especially in hotspot areas where abuse is rife. So conclusions, OSAC in the Philippines is a great issue exacerbated by socioeconomic difficulties, technical challenges, and transnational crimes. There are a lot of ways to solve this problem, including strengthening international collaboration, raising awareness, enhancing resources for law enforcement, and addressing poverty as a root cause. With these efforts, the Philippines can better solve the problem of OSAC and promote the better growth of children. And that's all for this video. Thank you for listening and making voices for children in the Philippines. See you next time. Bye.